Hi, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of our full album review from Mr. Kid Rock's Devil Without a Cause album. This is the Classic West podcast. This is the show where we break down albums like Kid Rock's Devil Without a Cause track by track, giving our thoughts and opinions on every single song. So we did the first 6 tracks, which, as you'll come to see by the end of this one, is where we think the halfway point is for the sake of our channel. Why? Because we talked about the early morning stoned P word. I mean, it's early in the video, censorship. I guess stoned is a bad word too, but we'll keep running because you could have thrown rocks, right? Anyway, so we did that album, and it turns out 2 of the tracks may be over here again. So anyway, halfway point done. If you want to check that out, get our thoughts to it. I mean, my short version is this is an exceptional sounding project thus far. A couple stylistic choices like my disdain for country music. Sorry, I'm just not into it as the city boy that I am. But another note, I don't think Kid Rock is the most profound philosopher of life for my city boy person.
Yep.
But for her country self, she felt that there was a lot more to take from The Rock and his feel-good, ambient music. Either way, I have a lot of respect for what I heard thus far on this project. You can get the full breakdown over there. You can hear about Josie's genital area if you want to hear a breakdown on that.
Yep.
On that note, there's still a bunch of songs left for us to talk about. Thank you, Mr. Scribble, for checking it out. You should check out Scribble's project, The Quarantine Tape CP. Anyway, type in Scribble Quarantine, you'll find his stuff. Welcome to the party. Ode to the old school. That's technically what our channel is. Ode to the old school.
Yeah.
Off camera, Bonnie chastised me. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
I am your lady friend, Bonnie.
And this is our show. Okay, so this song was actually the lead single off this project.
Really?
According to Wikipedia. And maybe it's not. That's just what I thought I saw on Wikipedia. And I just kind of sat there and was like, this? Like, having heard the whole project, this? But then again, fair enough. I guess dropping your first single as being an ode to the old school, a respect to where you come from, perhaps politically may be like a really wise choice for it to be here. But what do you think about this little ditty over here?
Well, I mean, I like that, and I can hear a lot of, the kind of bits and pieces and maybe like samples or like inspired by like, older artists. Like you can definitely tell he's listened to his fair share of hip hop and he knows what he's talking about. And I don't think just hip hop, obviously he's listened to, metal and rock and country as well. So I think that's all kind of like shoved into this album. But it certainly has like the flow of like an old school kind of song. So I think that that's kind of cool. I think that that's, obviously what he's trying to do. And it really is just like a party song with that kind of old school feeling to it. Kid Rock and I'm the same old fool. I'll tell ya to drop your boyfriend, then drop out of high school. I got a whirlpool, don't even ask. Licking pussy underwear, shooting bubbles up your ass. So I thought those were pretty good lines.
It's very out there.
Right? Like they definitely stood out for me. Like you're encouraging people to drop out of high school. And then, all that other descriptive bubbles up your ass. I don't know if that would feel good. I don't know. I feel like it would just
I think
tickle.
it's like stepping in again and owning that white trash, stoned
Obviously.
out pimp motherfucker here. And let's be real, as far as creativity goes, it's memorable.
It's there. It's definitely there.
I can't say I've heard many rappers as eloquently put that down.
Yep.
Is it eloquent? No. But did he say it eloquently? Yes.
Yeah. All right. I mean, like, I have, like, a hard time with this one, like, deciding if it's, like, a good song or not. But I feel like it's not. But it's, like, a good ode. Like, if that makes sense. So, like, I see what he's doing. Like, I get the point of it. It's definitely doesn't have the most, like, profound lyrics or anything like that. I don't know.
Come on. I became an MC when I learned to talk, saying goo goo, gaga.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I got a lot of time to eat MCs like piranhas. I'm a pro at this. Yeah, the ultimate, cause I don't spit my rap too quick. Like, I kind of sort of appreciate where the fuck he's coming from because, believe it or not, I find it significantly easier to rap at a bullet speed because you can hide how bad your flow is. You can hide a lot when all you can really do is pack it with syllables. And there's only, as Tech Nine's discography has proven, there is a maximum number of ways, I believe, that you can effectively break down speed before you have to throw slow in to make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And allow me to be clear, without your sound engineer fixing you, it is extremely difficult when you're dealing with trying to position something and being off by a fraction of a second will effectively throw off the whole math of the verse and everything. So I kind of respect the skill that comes into a really good slow flow. But what Kid Rock is dropping here is a very generic. Well, let me be clear. I think almost anybody could pick this song up and rap it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those shits where, like, literally, if I were to, like, create an entry-level rap tune for, like, a rapper guitar hero, this is actually now a candidate for beginner level, for how not a pro it feels in terms of the complicated nature of it. But perhaps that's the brilliance of it. He's able to, because... I'm not done. He's able to, in his sheer simplicity, create something so, and we're going to get to it more when we talk about Fuck Off because it's relevant there, but deliver something so cleanly simple, rhyme it, ride the beat, because, when we talk about his delivery, I can't say anyone can make it sound as good as Kid Rock, because if you listen to that flow, like, well, my name is Kid Rock, I'm a Capricorn, in Detroit City's where I was born, like, it's just so perfectly on that old school tip.
Yeah.
And it's just so perfectly with the melody in his voice, and I'm just trying to give him all his dues in this. But then again, pretty much anybody could pick this one up and learn to do it.
Yeah.
But learning to do it and actually writing it are not the same thing. So the fact is, I think it's cool that Kid Rock could create something so easily digestible by virtually anyone. This is frozen vegetables of hip-hop. It's lacking all the meats and potatoes, but it's kind of like, I meant it more in terms of how I feel after I eat it. Like, you're not very full. It's just a good throw it in, but you can go dance and fuck after you've eaten some frozen veggies, rather than if you stuff yourself on potatoes, you might be a little bloated and, you can still do it, but you're going to feel a little lazier. I don't actually know where the fuck I'm going with it, but I'm going to leave this in and we'll just keep moving on. The bars is fine. Like, I don't twirl around I'm the ladies' pick all around the world, but I only got eyes for just one girl. Bullshit. Bullshit.
This is when he was with Pamela Anderson, eh?
I don't care. It's just like the rest of this album is like, I'm gonna fuck all the hoes and be a pimp. So, like, just to the standards of this album, that whole lyric sounds whack. But fine, whatever. Again, I'm not trying to overthink it. Kid Rock is just laying it down. I roll through towns and I rock arenas. I may seem a little underage. Actually, no, you seem like pretty on point for how I remember men being in that era.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm saying men of the late 90s that were adults are a bunch of children. That's right, Gen X. Shots fired from this millennial. But at least I'm not underpaid. No, he's not. He's pretty well paid.
Yep.
Diamond, we said. I'm not the one here to shock your mind, and I will serve no rhymes before their time. I guess that means he's really fucking on time with his rhyming. He's not early at all. He's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's not like, I don't know. It's cool. He really just flows this through. I don't like small cars or real big women.
But somehow he always finds himself up in them.
Yeah. He's a hidden gem. He's a rolling stone. I'm a one-man band with a microphone. Now, the thing is I'm kind of finding this all silly and ludicrous, because it is. Mm-hmm. But then you, like, look at a Kid Rock music video and you think about him and you're like, you know what? This is real. Like, he's being real with me.
Yeah.
It's just that his real is ludicrous to me. So I don't know. Anyway, the chorus is fine. Then some random chick shows up and raps. She's the M to the L, and I'll let you know. The problem is I'm not sure who that M to the L is. I didn't Google it very hard. Genius says unknown. That was annoying to me. Elise is too sweet. It'll make you fat. And I'm like, what the fuck is she going on about? Anyway, then the chorus kicks in, and all of a sudden we yelling at Grandmaster Bob. The old school shit's fresh and all, but let's rock to that fucking new metal Kid Rock. And he throws down the beat, and then I'll be honest, it doesn't sound that different. It's just kind of more like what this album's been. Mm-hmm. Which, to be fair, even his ode to the old school kind of felt like. I mean, I know the beat changes, but not like he's not all that different, you know? He's kind of the same, just over a different beat. I'm an Irish lad, but don't call me Clancy. I'm gonna rock it for Dixie to suit your fancy. Fair enough, that's a dangerous line. But in that era, understand that the whole Southern thing was different, and judging it through 2020 Northerner standards in Montreal makes me an ignorant person for not understanding shit, which I don't. Rock your pants off and party my dick off. People want to know when the tour's gonna kick off. I'm no ripoff. It's all original, not too political until 2015 or so. A little cynical. No, he just got really lame in 2015, in my opinion. About the fakes, do you guys remember when he said he was gonna run for Detroit, like Congress or something like that? Like, that was hilarious to me. Can you imagine Kid Rock, the politician?
No.
Anyway, about the fakes and squawkers and to talk a lot of caca. I know a lot of chicks that like to call me Papa.
Yeah, it's like a stretch.
It's like, it's not that. It's just, this is just whatever. It's just whatever. All of the lyrics are whatever. But, you know, it's totally fun to listen to. Like, I think it's preposterous that Shocking in, like, 98 is got your girl sucking dick on videotape. I like pussy, sucking on titties, fucked a lot of different bitches from a lot of different cities. So, I mean, it's just so rock star. Yeah. It's just so generically rock star. So this would definitely appeal to like somebody like my dad who's into Zeppelin a lot more. And I guess that's what it is. I don't know. I don't have any more to say about this. I gave it a 4.25 because while it's a really good throw it on kind of track, you're kind of left with, damn, is Kid Rock not the most insightful rapper on this project? Yep. It's just good delivery. Yep. It's just excellent delivery. Don't get me wrong. It's not boring in its simplicity. His voice has such a powerful melody to it that you can just kind of listen to him say boring shit. Yeah. And it works.
Yeah, I give this a 4 on 5. I mean, like, there's not really, like... I mean, it does what it does. There's really not much else to it. And, like, there are better party songs on this album. So, I mean, but it's all right. It's good. That's
anyway, in case you're wondering, I got one for you.
Okay.
This song reminds me of Jackass, American Pie, a whole era that in 2020 is not as cool as it is in 1998.
Good old Jackass.
And I've had this weird reflective experience considering comedies of that era and like what's funny.
Well, times have changed.
Like, is Kid Rock ending up on a verse going sorry, I'm on the long fucking set of lyrics, but basically, you know, if you're got no game, he can't reward ya, but if you want a long one, baby, I got one for ya. Talking about his dick.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's just a long dick for you. So he's basically a skeezer, but he's got a big dick. And I'm like, damn, that is just like straight up, like, it makes me think of American Pie and stuff, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm a 32-year-old man. I'm all grown up and shit now. But I like this more than the last song, because it kicks in with that, like, goofy-ass accordion. Not accordion, I don't know what it is, like the organ or whatever the fuck it is in the beat. It's like, lit up like the 4th on my happy... I know I'm doing it wrong, but just that energy, like, you just picture it's 4th of July and shit. Fireworks, fadedness, barbecues, alcohols, like just you can picture the environment of what the fuck's going on. Like, I want to pump it up like the Goodyear blimp, make you holler for $1. That's the way I pimp. I have to give him credit for consistency. He's the same fucking guy on every song, so kudos for that. He's fine. in this one, I just feel like it's just Kid Rock. He's just kind of rolling through like this dirtbag Joe character that you're not supposed to necessarily love, but he's letting you know. He's like, I got no love, got no riches, I don't roll Vogues, and I ain't got switches, but I got a big dick. Come fuck me.
There you go.
Second verse. People always talking what they're gonna do. They must want their face to maybe taste my shoe.
Like those lines, though.
They're the least hard thing I ever fucking heard in my life.
Yep.
But at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if Kid Rock was kicking motherfuckers out. Why? Because, as we'll come to see, one of the tracks was written after a brawl took place. So he is a little rowdy.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not trying to imply that. It's just the way he sounds corny to me now, 24 years later, 22 years later. I can't understand how to push and stuff. And what the fuck to the peace and love? Who planted that glove? I'm like, is that like, what is it, an OJ line with the glove not fitting? Damn. Man, I don't care. I'm too busy running my fingers through your mama's hair. And I'm like, fair enough. It's like, I don't know. It's like, there's not enough here to hate. Because it's fine. Like, it checks it's authentic. It's got a flair to it. The way he's riding that beat is just beautiful. But it's so hard to, like, be like, I want to rap this. Because I don't. I look at these words and I don't want to rap this a lot. But there's 16 shots in his 9 milli. I got one for ya. And I'm like, okay. So this time it's about a gun.
Yep.
That's fine. I like the third verse because he goes, Jimmy, 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 yeah, lay it down, brother. And I wondered if that was a reference to Jimmy Iovine, maybe because of the next line. Record company stressing they want all hits, and I'm about to butt it, so I make it like this. So they said, here, boy, all we need is one song. Shorten up that hook. We don't need it that long. Don't want to hear me cuss. Don't want to hear me brag. So I'm grabbing on my thingy while I let my pants sag. I'm like... It's
like he's doing it just to spite like the record company, right?
I guess like this is a little goofy, but then you think about what he's doing. I put your picture away, sat here and you're like, that shit was such a radio hit. That was like for the like it's everything. I feel like he's satirizing here, and I get it. Times have changed, millions of dollars into your life, and I respect that.
Yep.
It's just kind of funny to hear him kind of be like criticizing how they want to hit from him. So he doesn't cuss, which I gotta give it respect. Like he kind of follows all the rules here. This is literally the only track on the album that is not with any cuss words.
He's got one for you. So he's
it's
making
got allusions to
them.
all the goofiness. It's pretty brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, now that you point that out, I'm like, okay.
And it's just so goofy. But I don't want to like take away from his brilliance. Part of this is I don't know that I'm young enough to be that into this level of juvenile shit. But I kind of respect it, right? They say they like my records, but they still boo-hooing. My choice is always tight. Never been what I've written, just writing what I'm doing. Yeah, that's this whole album. They say they like my records, but they're still boo-hooing. My choice is always tight. My rhymes will floor... No, they will not floor me, Kid Rock. Your rhymes have literally not floored me anywhere, except for maybe Black Chick, White Guy. Okay, I was pretty like, what the hell did that come from? But like, okay, hey, Slime, you want to hit money? Whatever. I get this a 4.35. I feel like, again, Kid Rock's kind of goofy. Like, really goofy. But he does it so well.
Yeah.
And I mean, who the fuck? I know how goofy I am, so it's like kind of...
Me too.
It's kind of how I know Kid Rock's goofy, because as they say, it takes one to know one. So I know cornball when I see that. I smell it, and I'm like, that's corny. I'm a corny guy. I know all about corny.
Yep.
So I'm, as an expert on being corny, established Kid Rock to be one corny motherfucking rapper I love. Does that make him bad? He's extremely talented. He's extremely good at what he does.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, right away, like, I wasn't loving this one. Like, there's just, like, something about his voice that sounds different on this one as well. Like, and maybe he's just more, like, nasally or something. Like, there's just something about it. You know, maybe there's something in his nasal. I don't know. You know, and also, like, his rhymes are pretty basic on this one as well. Like, And like the chorus, I mean, it's all right. You know, like I don't know, like that line that you mentioned, like, you know, people always talking about what they want to do. They must want their face to maybe taste my shoe. Like that's like, what is that? Like, that's not a threat. That's like schoolyard nothingness. And then like
But
the next
again,
lines
it's like,
are, I can't understand all the push and shove, and what the fuck happened to the peace and love? He was right there, just saying he wanted to kick you in the face, and now he's like, oh, peace,
oh, does
man,
he say
peace,
what the fuck?
peace. Yeah, that's the next line.
Oh,
And like, so it's just kind of like,
I guess
well,
he does swear that one time.
you know, yeah. And then I don't know. I just feel like these are like empty words at this point, and like they just kind of happen to rhyme. I don't know. It's interesting.
I think it's like we said though. It's like, oh, you want that record hit? Here it is.
Yeah.
Like Eminem has done this. Like everybody has done this.
Yeah.
It becomes a real big trope in alt rock later on. Like, it's a common thing.
Okay.
Later on. So I'm gonna give Kid Rock his due for doing a creative and making an creatively, innovatively stupid song.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I gave this one a 4 on 5. It's pretty basic. I did like the bluesiness that was like in the middle of it. I like that. That was nice. I just wanted to make sure that was mentioned.
I also gotta say, if you never paid attention to anything except for the overall, like you never listened to what Kid Rock had to say and you just kind of let it play, it's amazing. It's when you start thinking with Kid Rock that it gets hard, for me at least. Anyway, the next one.
Somebody's gotta feel this.
Oh, is it that one? Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't say anything. I kind of like this one in terms of like what it is. It's like, listen, I'm a juxtaposition of all of these like different fucking also he screams at the end of the last one and that was weird and I forgot to comment on that.
Oh, okay.
But this is like, yo, check it. I like to party on the Lower East Side. I never did this. G rides with 100 spokes to match. We rolled 2 deep, 3 freaks, 4 amps in the back. You know, he's like kind of painting out this picture. I kicked that crack game rap. Now I let my axe bang. So, you know, he's kind of showing, you know, the guitars, the other side of it. Living in sin is a beautiful thing. Want to twang like Hank. You know, I guess it's Hank Williams. Rock like Rudd. That's the DMCs, yo. Got soul like Stevie. That's the Wonder. And when I'm under the sun, so, and now you know. And what you're hearing here is, it kind of reminds me of this track Yellow Wolf and Travis Barker did that I've always really liked because I'm a hybrid kind of guy myself, where he's like too country for hip hop, too like country for city folk, or, you know, just kind of like the realization that when you exist in these hybrid natures, you tend to be a lot of different things, but not enough of any one thing to be substantially good to that audience. So like the country cats would have shit on him. The hip hop guys would have shit on him. The rock guys would have shit on him. Why? Because he's all of it. And he's not like enough of any one of it. So he's a poser to everybody, especially in the era of the posers. Anyway, I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I kind of like that. And how, what does he do with the chorus when he gets there? Somebody's got to feel this. Someone's got to feel this. It's almost like he's just throwing out what he is to the world sonically, into who he is to the world. And it's like he's just saying, yo, if I stay authentic and I represent who I am and I put it down, somebody's gotta feel this, in the sense that, like, yo, it's just bound to happen. But then the way he flicks it to someone's got to feel this makes it feel like almost a prayer and a wish, because I don't think he pops until after this album comes out. I think he's like knowing, but then he fucking pops after this album comes out. And like, that's the thing. So maybe where he's feeling at this point, he hasn't got there. So I never had a lot of money, never made much chance, been chasing bunnies like a dummy, overlooking my rent. He spent every rent cent putting hickeys on his bed. He's rocking dickies, slipping, licking honey steady. Like, this is pretty fucking decent. He's fucking flowing here. I'm like, where the fuck has this been most of the album? And I really like that, like, authenticity of looking into his soul in this song. And I suppose when Kid Rock gets real with me and isn't trying to be a little bit obnoxious or whatever, I find him to be pretty interesting, to be honest. Told my soul to glow it, said get up and go, and so I packed my bags with a whole lot of realness. somebody's got to feel this. And I'm like, wow, I'm feeling it more, you know? And other people are making it. He's not, you know, he's frustrated. I like how he's like, I've been a whore for years, showing love to my peers, never sold for any less than what I see in the mirror. And I just feel like he's very self-aware of who he is and where he's at with things and how maybe people believe things about him at a certain point. But the truth is he's always been this way. And I kind of respect this whole like flow of it. I like the call of the sound of it. I don't think it's like my favorite song on it, but I feel like I respect this song a lot more inherently for what it is. And I enjoy listening to the overall everything. And I gave it a 4.35.
Hey, so did I. Yeah, I mean, I like this one as much as a 4.35 song. It has like a lot of like good energy to it and a lot of power in this one. It's definitely, I mean, I think it feels a little bit like heavy rock, like it's more like that kind of feeling. And, he's good at the ones where he's basically yelling the whole time. I like those ones, you know, because he's, you know, like, those are fun. When he's just kind of like chill, it's a little less fun. You know, I'm just basically talking about living, you know, how he, you know, came from the bottom and now he's here, basically. Like, you know, how he's living it up, and he's, you know, he didn't used to have much, and he wasn't maybe in the best situation or whatever, but you know, now he's rich and he's living in a mansion and he's like fucking bitches and, you know, doing all these wonderful things. So, yeah, he's just kind of talking about that. And like, I don't know, some of the lines were all right. Like, I've been a whore for years, showing love to my peers, never sold for any less than what I see in the mirror. And I like that. Like, you know, he's obviously like has a lot of self-confidence, and you know, I don't know, it's good. Yeah, 4.35. I like the energy. It's all right.
Alrighty, I think we can move in to the next song, which is called Fist of Rage. All right, Bonnie, what do you think about this one?
I mean, the rhymes in this one are okay, but it's not the best. Like, I can see like the Fist of Rage like chorus being like really like popular amongst like angry guys, and it sounds, you know, all right, and you know, but I don't know. Just like the rhyming, you know, it wasn't like the best that he's done. Like, that's kind of what I was noticing on this one. He's more just about like energy and voice and sound than like necessarily listening clearly and focusing on the lyrics, kind of like what you mentioned
That's
earlier.
basically our review in a sentence.
Yeah, and you know, it's simple and clear enough and whatever. And this one, you know, it's decent. This one has like a good mix between like hip hop and rock in this one. I found like there was like a kind of, you kind of felt both of them. So I give this one a 4.2 on 5.
So when I first saw Fist of Rage, my thoughts were, Rage Against the Machine. Then I heard Fist of Rage and I said, oh shit, really? And then I am pretty sure this is Kid Rock's attempt at a Rage Against the Machine song. Why? The way the guitar gets played out and stuff, it feels kind of like, what's his name? I don't remember his name. Fucking dude that's like kind of okay with being a sellout from Rage. Anyway, y'all know who Tom Morello. That's what I was thinking of. It's kind of like his guitar style a little bit. It's going to Fist of Rage. It just makes you picture like a Zach De La Rocha feel to it all. But it also feels so not like them at all. It feels like they tried to make a really cool Rage Against the Machine song and made a Kid Rock song. And yeah, that's maybe not the most profound thing, but it's just like, gotta make this money, this money is me, this money is everything I do and see. I mean, if I'm wrong about the Rage Against the Machine theory, then I guess what I'm about to say is kind of pointless. But that is not how you start a Rage Against the Machine song. Because Zach De La Rocha would fucking judge you in the next line, who are you to judge me? Because that sounds real capitalistically aimless, which the guys who shut down Wall Street kind of weren't about that. Anyway, that's right. Michael Moore in Rage Against the Machine shut down Wall Street for a bit, which is a funny anecdote of life. Anyway, just let me be and let me breathe. I see this whole world headed for damnation and I'm ready to leave. So instead of having social responsibility and caring for others, he's gonna party because the world's
Makes
fucked
sense.
up. Can't believe this whole world twisted me. You fucking bigots, you fakes, you want to bees. I see the future and it's looking grim. A lake of fire looking like a gonk's whip. I don't know what that means. I've never heard the word gonk
Yeah, I don't
before.
know.
So it could be like a racist term and I'm saying some shit, but that's fine. If it is, I'm real sorry. It's not necessarily fine. It's just I didn't know better.
True.
Still, it's like, okay, so he's real mad because shit's fucked up. Alright, so I don't know if I fully disagree with you. I think he's rhyming it real well. I just think it's it's like an odd protest song. It's a self-indulgent protest song. And that's where it's like, what? Who are
Yeah.
you protesting? I'm mad at the world. It's fucking mean to me. So fist of rage. I'm like, it almost feels like a South Park thing. Anyway, Slim Jims and the Tin Men Grims, fat heads with dreads, and all the feds growing shark fins. What? It's just like you're checking boxes, dog. You're saying the right shit, and then you're flowing it. Anyway, but the thing is, I know Kid Rock can rap and can school me and all this other shit. Like, I'm not stupid. I recognize it. I'm calling this kind of weak and sellouty. That's what it is. We're in love, but she's young and I think I'm being locked up. I couldn't cut the mustard with a jinsu and what the fuck does... Look, I don't know. I gotta stop. I'm thinking a lot and I'm not understanding. And I twisted brown for all the bullshit I've been through. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Like drugs and shit. Looking for love, but it's got too many damn faces. I can't win even with these 4 aces. Okay. I'm gonna move on. There's not a lot here. And then third verse is fine. And you feeling bold with me. You're up a creek. Like up shit's creek. Like you're in trouble. Like, I don't know.
Up the creek. What is it?
Up shit's creek without a paddle. Like when, I don't know. I'm having a lot of trouble getting into the lyrics of these. However, it does end. Pay back on your ass. I know I owe it. Now when you're going down, bet I'll be blowing up. Diamond. Fair enough. Hear the sound of a shotgun cock and know you're fucked. Okay. I hope you see my middle finger from the stage. I'm coming to give you the fist of rage and shit. Teenagers. Teenagers. That's what this feels like. It's like a teenage anthem. It's 4.5. It's petulant. I feel like he got all those 16-year-old dollars because guess what I was? Just under that. I was the 12-year-old version of the 16-year-old, so we were listening to it to be cool. I am the kids who bought Kid Rock's bullshit back then. I am that group of people, so it's hard for me to judge it. I bought into this bullshit, all of that shit, all of these fucking people taking our money to be pop stars, and then we realized they were all like maybe just kind of self-indulgent and vapid. Like, I think today the pop stars have a higher expectation to actually be about some shit that's bigger than them than the people I worshipped when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
That was just a random thought.
Speaking of
4.5.
yeah, people you want to worship.
Only God knows why.
Yeah.
This was hard. Objectively, Only God Knows Why is a pretty good song. Subjectively, fuck this song. I don't like listening to this auto-tune ass country shit. I've been sitting here. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Now, is it a really good country song, all things considered? Does it really capture that emotion? Does it do all the things you're supposed to do? And we find out he started writing this shit after he got into a brawl when his album stuff was going well and he was supposed to be winning, and then he's sitting there in jail. So when you're hearing that, I've been sitting here trying to find myself. I get behind
I mean, he's not quite
myself.
that twangy.
I need to rewind myself. It kind of works when it's all country, all this repetitious bullshit. It's just good country lyrics, even if I don't think it's good rap lyrics. And then the rest of the album, if you think about it from the frame of being more country-esque, I'm like, okay. I was going way too hip-hop in my mind this whole review, because that's what I'm doing, but we are doing a hip-hop show. I don't know. They say every man bleeds just like me. And I feel like number one, yet I'm last in line. Watch my youngest. And I'm like, damn, this is like the most everyman shit. Like, what middle, lower class guy struggling to deal with life doesn't hear some shit like this and go, and I'm like, that's why they all like this country shit. Oh my God.
It's relatable.
Like me, I want to hear about crack dealers because I find that is relatable. It's the closest thing to the software game in music is the crack game. You're not getting this. I'm not in blue collar land, so like this shit is like very blue collar land shit. I'm in white collar land. White collar, white powder, they're connected. I'm telling you. Yo, software is vile. I legally can't go too deep on this subject over contracts, but software is vile. It's just some vile shit out there is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
My company's the good guys in this world is what I'm realizing, and there's a lot of bad players in this world.
Yeah.
So hearing this, it kind of had thinking about like my dad and his grind, and my dad did a lot of that restaurants and under the table work and constructions and paintings and all of that stuff, and I'm like, that's for him more than me. But I feel like just the struggle, like, fuck, I haven't struggled to make a couple dollar bills in like 6 years. I've been pretty much not struggling for a while, is I guess what I'm trying to say. But if I think back to poor me, it's kind of nice. And then when you do have those moments of breaking down and when your walls come tumbling down, I will always be around. And it's just nice.
Kid Rock will always be there for you.
The second verse is just real nice, you know. I've been gone long. He's just thinking about not being home and probably being on tour, and he's missing shit. And then I've said it too many times. I still stand firm. You get what you put in, and people get what they deserve. Still, I ain't seen mine. No, I ain't seen mine. And I'm like, okay, now I'm really connecting with this song. Go look at the number of videos on this channel to the subscriber count on this channel. Putting in a lot of work is what I'm trying to say. Do I deserve more? I'm not trying to imply that. That's pretty cocky. But I was certainly hoping to do a little bit better than we've done by now, is what I'm trying to say. So I can say I still ain't seen mine. I might not be struggling, but I certainly ain't seen mine. I've been giving, I just ain't been getting. And I'm like, wow, this is powerful. I've been walking that there line, and I'm like, if it wasn't for the auto-tuned country twang of this shit, I would be really like, almost, I feel emotionally invested in it.
Who else walked the line? Johnny Cash.
I know what he was doing. That's fine. And then, so I'll keep on walking with my head held high. And I'm like, what am I doing? Literally recording the review, which in the metaphor of my life is walking with my head held high, because it's just keeping on the grind, right?
Yep.
And I keep on moving. I keep moving on. Why? Fucked if I know. Only God knows why. And I'm like, damn, Kid Rock, where the fuck was this? And you're like, I mean, I knew this was coming. For like ever, you're sitting there going, because the next track's on it. The same album that has the next track, Ba Wit Da Ba, also contains the auto-tuned country masterpiece, Only God Knows Why.
Yep.
Look, I honestly am never going to listen to this shit again. Why? Because there's a million other genres that I like more than the sound of this. But it just comes on at some place, because it will, and I have to hear it again. I'm not going to hate it. And I think as far as country goes, as far as what this is truly the kind of song only a guy like Kid Rock could write so humbly well. Because that's what it is. It's all humility here. And there's no like Kid Rock ego. It's just a broken degenerate trying to do a little bit better and praying it's all going to work out. And then he did.
Yep.
It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. Anyway, I have it a 4.5. I cannot, in good conscience, give this a 5 on 5, but it probably deserves that. Of this whole album, this and Ba Wit Da Ba are truly, like, timelessly classics within themselves.
And Cowboy.
I don't know if Cowboy's more seminally innovative, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
But Only God Knows Why is, you could throw this on in 20 years and it's still going to be this, and a million motherfuckers are going to be able to listen to this song in 20 years and relate to it.
Yeah.
And Ba Wit Da Ba is just a mosh pit banger of like greatness, so who fucking cares when you throw it on? It's just always great. So yeah, it probably deserves a 5, but whatever.
All right.
What do you think?
So yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like this. We'd gotten to like the part of the album where he was like, talking about his feelings and the different feelings that he was going through. Like the last one was like anger, and now this one is sort of like sadness and depression and like regret and like I'm honestly not surprised.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't really consider the emotional change of the different tracks across the album.
Yeah. Like I'm not surprised kind of at this point, like because as someone who's telling us about how recklessly he's living and all the drugs that he's using and whatever, all the stuff that he has and the money and the hoes and whatever, like there's gotta be strings that come along with that and consequences to some of his behavior, like so I'm sure people have been pissed off, which we will find out about later on. That he doesn't give a fuck about anybody else, and so the people that care about a person in their lives, his family and his friends and his coworkers and his manager and everything, like they are all kind of being let down or disappointed with him and things like that. So he's feeling that too, and he's using drugs to kind of just dig himself like a deeper hole. And and like I don't know, intrinsically you just know like when you're doing bad things when you're doing them. I think if you know the difference between good and bad, then when you're doing a bad thing. And anyways, like he's super successful and he's kind of like the cock of the walk, but he's definitely paying the price for being successful and for kind of taking advantage of like this outrageous lifestyle that he now gets to be a part of.
You know what's crazy?
What?
He wasn't actually there yet. A lot of that, like everybody knows my name, they say it out loud, a lot of folks fuck with me.
But people know him a lot.
That wasn't
more.
true yet. By his own admission, it wasn't true.
No, he's not as famous as he was after this came out.
No, like straight up, it wasn't hard to fucking hang out in a crowd when I wrote that song. No one knew who the fuck I was. I just knew that it was going to be like that. Pretty good prediction, Nostradamus. So like by his own words, that was a prophecy. And then again, kind of like saying I'm going platinum. That's some serious faith in yourself. Because Kid Rock actually pulled that off.
True. Yeah. That's true. I don't know, but like, I don't know. It seems like he was already like, living it up enough for him to be able to write songs like this and, doing drugs and, being into like all that kind of stuff and, just being like a fucking asshole basically, before he was famous. So, like this has kind of been like a long-term thing, right? So he's obviously, has his ups and downs, I'll just say that. And but now he just has the accessibility to like drugs and hoes and all the crazy shit there is, so whatever. But yeah, and he also kind of mentions that he feels kind of guilty about leaving his family behind and like while being on tour and not being there for important moments and things like that, like Christmas and Mother's Day and like those kinds of things. And yeah, I don't know, this song definitely feels a little bit out of place on this album, but it still fits in in terms of like the theme, I guess, and kind of this is sort of his downward spiral a little bit, and then we kind of go back up, and so it definitely has like the denouement part of the album. But it's definitely a banger still. I mean, not in the terms of like banging out, but like in terms of like it was like a hit, like a radio hit, and it's good.
It's
and
the
like
kind of banger you put on when you're heartbroken, when you cheated on the girl and she left you, and you're having that moment where you're basically sitting there with a tub of ice cream, crying with a blunt, going and singing this tune because you're sad.
Yeah. I mean, and this is definitely another one that I have been listening to, for many years, and there's lots of passion to it. It certainly has, like you were saying, like a value in, the listener's life. We've all been through some, bad times, and, sometimes it does seem like only God knows why, we're in this situation, or, we feel like this, or whatever else, low part that you're at in your life. But we all get through it, we all trudge on through, and we come out on the other side. And so that's a good thing. I mean, so I mean, it's a pretty great song. There's nothing like profound, but it's like a good, honest message, and like he definitely feels like he's being like open and raw, and we're kind of understanding that maybe life, as fame is starting to happen to him, it isn't always easy. There are good times, but there are also bad times. So yeah, I mean, I give this a 4.8. I also couldn't quite give it a 5, but it definitely is a great song.
And if you don't like what we have to say,
You
fuck
can
off.
fuck off.
So here's what's up. Obviously, I know this song since I'm a teenager. Back in the days of MP3 discs, I don't know if you remember those. They weren't quite MP3 sticks. They were CDs that you could put MP3s on directly and then play them with those special MP3 disc players. Well, in those eras, I got a CD that contained something like 180 Eminem tracks, including Fuck Off. Oh no, it wasn't that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It might have been
All
this.
that I had to say, it
I
wasn't
bought it.
anything to do with this.
Doesn't matter. I was obsessed with Eminem because I'm like a 12-year-old in 2000 and I'm white and I rap today. Come on, I'm
There
like
you go.
the demographic that was like in bamboo, but enamored with Eminem. So I ended up coming across this song. Of course, I mean Shady's there, and as far as shit goes, I think this is one of Kid Rock's best performances on this album. I've been listening to this for a very long time. The beat is fucking dope. I mean, it samples "Running with the Devil" by Van Halen and "NIB" by Black Sabbath. So just having that metal-esque, aggressive rock sound, that's pure new metal-esque thing, and Eminem on mollies and shit. I mean, I'm assuming he's high as a kite with the fucking voice he has there. However, I know he's high as a kite. You know how I know? Because Eminem had this little interview. I don't remember where exactly I found it. I can't quote the source, but I was scooping up the internet, and I came across Eminem talking about how when he did the recording session for this, he proceeded to go in and Kid Rock is surrounded by blow, as in cocaine, and all sorts of other drugs. And there are Playboy Bunny hoes. It is
Makes
this
sense.
album in the studio. And he got Eminem to do cocaine, and he felt that the experience was so overwhelming that he never touched cocaine again. So Kid Rock kept Eminem from cocaine by blowing his mind with this experience. And when you listen to that, like, yo, tell the world to hold their breath, to breathe in the air, you're like, okay, that makes more sense. That's like a wrecked Eminem just trying to fucking keep his head together while he's fucking doing this verse, you know?
Okay, yeah.
That's my opinion, at least. What do you think of this song?
I mean, I felt the beginning of this song to be quite abrasive to my ears. I don't know what was going on, but it was not fun to listen to.
Excuse me.
There's like a sound at the very beginning of the song.
It's called distortion.
It's
Feedback.
called terrible.
You're wrong.
Anyways, so
Wrong.
wrong. Again, so like we have more of it's like on the second verse. I'm just gonna skip forward here. It sounds like it could be again on like Bawi Chiba. So this is what I was like talking about when I was saying that he kind of uses the same sort of like rhyme scheme and flow from like his like what he probably was told, were going to be the hits on the album, and then puts them on like his kind of maybe lesser known hits. And so I just find that's interesting. This is, I think, like the third time he's done this that I've noticed. So that it's kind of interesting that he kind of calls back to those ones. And again, makes me kind of think that maybe his rhyme skill isn't all that great if he kind of uses the same thing over and over again. Like,
However, go back to Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style and tell me how much they fucking reuse lines on that album.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on an album experience.
But
It
it's
creates
not-
a degree of cohesiveness because
yes.
I'm not feeling that on this one personally.
No, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I just notice it. Like, it's like something that I pick up on. And like, so it's like, hold on. Let me just read the lines. It's, with my pants half hanging off my ass and shit, bullfished half, hash pocket stuffed with cash. I be the mushroom tripping, sipping shots of Jack, because the kids don't listen, getting lots of flack. I be the do what diddy up and down your block, and the 10-carat kid with my triggers cocking. Like, I can just hear, no, get in the pit and try to love someone. Like, that's kind of like the next line, like what I should hear. Like that's what I'm feeling. Do you not feel that?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm waiting for,
So
like...
let me know if you do or if you don't. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of get the sense that you're saying all of his new metal tracks sound similar.
But like it's
in how he
exact
raps.
same like cadence that he uses.
Like, to be fair, I also got the same feeling listening to Wasting Time versus I Got One for One when he's doing his goofy lazy. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily, because I actually feel like if you're listening to like, you know, something. Shit, what a fucking song called Baba to Buy. It's got like this heavy like, so this is for the questions that go out of the answers. It's got like punchy, like whatever.
Yeah.
This is more like a shimmy shimmy go go motherfucking pop bitch. It's the Kid Rock with the Kid Rock shit. I'm on top bitch and rock for, you know, it's got more of a boppiness to it, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like the flows don't feel this. In fact, I like Fuck Off's flow better. I actually think like it's better rapping. In terms of how it feels, like hella whips and nips and flip trips for whips. I got all the money, pussy falls like rain, been getting laid and paid to spawn, never complain. I ain't in it for the money, I'm in it for the P. And that's 1998, you still can't fuck with me. You don't be fucking with the blue eye, fucking with my... Anyway, it's just, it's not like, again, it's the most profound shit, but I love the energy. I'm liking the shit that he just ranges it, and I like the way it's like been shining like a diamond, getting passed like a close, so fuck off! Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has a good punch to it when he says fuck off.
And like the whole like flow to it, I agree that it's there. It's like for me, it's just like when he goes, and I get too much pee to ever that censored line is be no homo. Okay. I rock from Soho to Arizona. I'm an easy rider, dreaming of Winona. I don't feel that that's the ba with ta ba punch. It's got a bop. This is a bop that to his flow to me. It's got like a I'm an easy rider dreamer. Oh, no versus a blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like it was like a punch on the fourth of everything for ba to ba. Whereas this has more. I could just picture more of an airiness. Like it's almost like a hop over each of the things.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all could disagree with me.
Maybe. Yeah, let us know.
But anyway, and then it's like Kid Rock does this interview. Yeah, right in your motherfucking ass, bitch, with that Detroit City shit. And ain't shit Swift, we're on the same script. Nothing new since 76. Kid Rock, yo, Slim Shady, come break these motherfuckers off. Which, like, when you think about it in 2020 and everything, it's so weird.
Yep.
Yow! To the world, 100 breath, they're bringing the rock air. This planet belongs to me and this hippie with long hair. Two white boys, this spike punch and light joints, hang around drugs, loud music and light noise, slim shit. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Eminem, I miss.
He just sounds so young and
He's,
like
real, like he hadn't learned anything but the nasal yet. What's fascinating though is apparently, and this is according to the movie Eminem, aka. Eminem had met Kid Rock once upon a time back when he was a young jealous hater and wanted to battle Kid Rock up on the spot. And Kid Rock was like, nah, but yo, you need to learn to rap slow so motherfuckers can hear what you're saying. And I think it's funny that he did that. He slowed down, right? Because if you're listening to this, like you can hear him holding it in a little bit to like be clear and cohesive. And it makes me wonder, for all the great Tech 9 bars and all the super fast bars and flows, it's like, does it matter if nobody gives a shit what you're saying? Because, yeah, you can, like, rip some shit, but if nobody really decodes the lyrics, like, I'd listen to Rap God probably a lot, like, way a lot, before I ever realized what the song said, because it's just so tricky and fast that you don't actually sit there to consider all the little Easter egg nuggets and seeing the brilliant lines, like packing a mac in the back of an act. Oh shit, big pun reference, tucked it. But like when you're just doing it real quick, you're not really thinking about it. Whereas if you slow it down, you have more of an opportunity to like digest it. Now, I'm a fast rap loving guy, so I'm not saying there's no value in that and that we shouldn't try harder, but I'm saying sometimes you have to have that slower message driven shit if you really want people to hear what you have to say. So I kind of think it's an interesting point. Anyway, the rest of this verse is fine. Eminem does his shit, you know. Rum and Pepsi got your whole perception of me sketchy, because when I stage dive, people are scared to catch me, because all I do is curse and fuck. So when I do shrooms, y'all better give me 2 rooms, because I'm fucking the first one up. It just feels like freestyle Eminem. It doesn't feel like he wrote this. It feels like he walked in, ripped out of his mind, and ripped over the microphone.
But it's still, it's like a nice, like, you know, it's a nice refreshing change from, you know, the rest of it. And, you know, he does have like a good flow, but it's not mind-blowing.
But it's a good early Slim Shady flow. It's like a Easter egg of the past, you know?
Yeah.
A shit most people probably won't hear. Because, so when you see me on your block, you better lock your cars because you know I'm losing it when I'm rapping the rock guitars. This is for the children who break rules. People who straight fools and every single teacher that hates school. It's fight music. And I'm like, wait a second. That really reminds me of fight music in the way he ends his verse. Still, he says fuck off instead. I don't know if you know fight music, but that's what it reminds me of. You do. We reviewed fucking the D12 album.
I'm pretty sure I know it.
Anyway, I love fuck off. How could I not? I've been listening to it for more than 20 years. What can I say? It's a fucking 5 on 5.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And then...
About 20 years.
And I wanted to also mention, because this is at the tail end of it.
Oh, shit. The awful skit. You're
awful.
Right. 4.5 on 5. I cut off 0.5 of what the song should get.
Yeah, because at the end,
that skit.
We have like a bunch of like answering machine messages and people looking for him. And these sound, again, like some of them like legit messages.
Like it really was his girlfriend.
And is really, I mean, that
really
sounds
was
like
his fucking
mom.
Like manager person. Like, are you really going to Amsterdam?
Yeah,
where
so
I
like,
know you're gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, the
because
first
you got mastering in 3 days.
The first one, it's like this girl. Yeah, she's pissed off, and then she basically tells him to fuck off and to not bother calling like her back because she's done with him. And obviously, like he disappointed her and didn't show up when he was supposed to. And then we have like his manager, and he's saying like, I hear you're thinking about going to Amsterdam. Don't do it. Like, this is not a good time to do that. Like, don't fuck around. So again, like, you know, he's just kind of like, don't do it. Like, don't, you know, kind of being like the responsible one. And then so it's just like all these like
mom?
people that are looking for him. Yeah, and his mom, and like,
we moved the Father's Day party to plan right around you. This is like, so unacceptable.
Like, it sounds like, yeah, so she's really, really like just so pissed off, and like that he's MIA for like a Father's Day event. And honestly, this could be my mother. Like, it sounds exactly like a message. Like, I've heard my mother speak to either myself or my sister like this, and not good. But anyways, and then we have Uncle Cracker, and he's looking for him, and, you know, he's got kind of saying, like, you were supposed to be here 40 minutes ago, you know, and he talks about there's chicks all over the place, and then Kid Rock Pip finally picks up the phone.
I'm there.
And then, yeah, he's like, so he's willing to get off his ass or pull himself out of whatever dark hole that he's in to go fuck some hoes. So, typical guy. I just wanted to say that. Won't answer his mom, won't answer his, like, you know, nagging bitch or whatever, like, you know, girlfriend that he doesn't like, obviously.
Let's just say typical person down with OPP.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't want to make this so gender specific here.
I don't know.
Like, you're implying that there are not women out there.
No, I'm just saying,
that behave
in this
exactly...
case, it's a man. So.
But you said typical men, and in defense of the gender.
We also do typical things. I'll say that.
This is typical behavior of all humans.
Yeah. And I feel like this is like either like I think Eminem was inspired by this, like, so, you know, that he did this.
Do you know what was also happening?
What?
Because in the back of this, where are you at, Rock? Where are you at?
Yeah.
Now, what did we talk about in, like, what, November?
Lots
Early Morning Stone Pimp.
Yeah.
Which included the following track. Where are you at, Rock? We're not transitioning yet. So as I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a second. This all sounds real familiar. I didn't look up if this skit's actually on that album. I don't remember. But I knew that Where You At, Rock sounded like a sample from the last album. And then it flows into it. So anyway, I just thought this could have been its own track. Or it could have been attached to the next one. And I think it hurts fuck off. Because it's clearly not designed for the streaming era and playlists. It's designed for the album experience. Fine. If you're playing the CD in your car, then yeah, I get it. This is a good flow. I'm not going to ever do that. So I had to unheart. I fucking hate the hearts. I had to unheart fuck off from my playlist because this fucking outro in my regular life would piss me the fuck off.
Yeah, I gave this one a 4.4 on 5. I mean, it's not bad. I very much enjoyed hearing, you know, like young Eminem. You know, I like that Detroit love that we get from that. I don't know. And I really liked the last part. So I like this skit, honestly, because it's relatable.
All right, let's move into the next track on this project, which is called
Where You At, Rock?
If you want to see my thoughts on all the lyrics and shit, go check out the Early Morning Stone Pimp review. You can call it a cop out if you want, but like it's the same track with very different mixing.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if when I reviewed the last one I found the Early Morning Stone Pimp version or if I reviewed this version. So what I said back then is same sort of deal, but I like the beat a lot. I was like, fuck, this is really copy pastable because honestly, same sort of deal, but I like the beat a lot. 4.5 on 5. I love how he pans to the left and the right, and I kind of dig the mid-song long break instrumental outro.
Yep.
Love all that shit still too. I love the mixing because it really feels prominent. I don't know. The mixing comment is more about the next track where I could find the before and after. I like the clever use of the organ underneath the God bars in the second verse. I thought from a songwriting point of view, it's really well. And I think Where You At Rock is actually one of the standout tracks on this project. It's got a great fucking feel to it, and it's super enjoyable. I don't want to go into it much further because you can go watch the other review for that. We already did the breakdown. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that he chose this one of all the other ones to put on this album, but then again, it is really good. Yep. And it's a really good late album experience. And I guess ain't shit changed is what he's trying to say. He's still that guy. So overall, I don't really have more to comment on this one.
Yeah, I like the one. This one, it has a good beat to it. I like the old timiness to it, while it still sounds like new metal. And like the chorus was just funny. Like, you know, where you at, rock, where you at? Over here in the rear with your girl and the 40s of beer. Where you at, rock, where you at? Over there with the bad attitude because I just don't care. Like, it's just like ridiculousness. And like the 1-2 and you don't stop, like that's like classic hip-hop. Like I think that's kind of cool. You know, so again, it's sort of like paying homage to like, you know, the old school artists while still being a pain in the ass. So I mean, it's good. It's not the best, it's not the greatest, but you know, it's fine. I give it a 4.35 because where the fuck is he? He's like, fucking where's Waldo?
Fair enough. All right, next up we have Black Chick, White Guy / the hidden track. Yep. I Am the Bullgod remix. Sandale, we did the whole song breakdown super quickly. This is kind of a song relating his childhood to the girl that he ended up having a kid with, and just the ordeal of how there were multiple kids involved, babies that weren't his. People may laugh at him. He did the right thing. In my opinion, he just was a father to these kids. He stuck it through, and everything's kind of worth it now, and it's a really super emotional, honest fucking song.
Yep.
But what's really incredible about this version is the clean mixing really makes an impact. When you listen to the two back to back, you can hear the real difference between the mixing and mastering on the Early Morning Stone Pimp version, where the percussion is super heavy and it kind of feels
which I like that one better, I think.
It kind of feels like he's more hidden into the mix, which gives off this more underground feel. Like if I want to do some undergroundy sounding shit, I'm gonna bury myself in the mix a little bit more. If I want to do some glossy poppy shit, I'm gonna have like almost like the mix kind of squish it down so that the vocal track is the front and center, and that's exactly what the fuck happened on this version of it. It is a pop mix. Everything is done so that Kid Rock is very clear the whole way through. The drums are kind of muffled the fuck down, compressed a little bit to like, but like it's done in a way where again, like you have to put more effort to listen to Kid Rock in the other mix, whereas this one, it's like they made it easier to consume him. I don't know what mix I like better. It's a good track. 4.5. I don't remember if he burps at the end in the new version. I know that that's what my notes said in the last one. And then, for some reason, there's an I Am the Bullgod remix. So in context, it was part of the hidden track era. So that's cool. A little bit of bonus track. Now it's just there. I played the two versions next to each other. I don't see the difference between them. So go listen to my thoughts on part 1 and you'll hear what I think about that track. Overall, though, listening to the two back to each other, it isn't a bad 12 minutes. It's a pretty good 12 minutes. So I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's still good. And, you know, it does feel different. It feels, you know, okay, we've got a story now. You know, it, you know, kind of like that, like what you mentioned. I mean, but it is repetitive as to what you said. And, you know, I like drums, I like percussion, so I like the other one better than this one. And I don't know, it's good. It's saying something. You know, he's being honest again. I gave this one a 4.25 on 5.
Fair enough.
I'll just sum that up.
All right, so I guess that brings us to the end of this project, where I'll be honest, I wish he hadn't ended it with the 2 tracks we had just talked about, but I'll accept. I don't know. This one, I know it's a classic because literally I can't deny the timelessness of it per se. Well, I can debate that. I think this album sold really, really well, and I think there are a lot of songs on here that are pretty timeless, but I'm giving this album a 4.4357. It's just under like the classic mark for me. It's very close. I think it's a greatly versatile album. I think it's innovative in the way that it's basically like nu metal, but like for country and shit in that regard. But it does have some nu metal on it. I think it's got a lot of different stuff. And if you really give this album an open-minded chance, there will be something you enjoy listening to. And then you may agree with me that Kid Rock's corny, or you may think he's an American badass. That's later on in life. But I kind of like this experience. I mean, I didn't really think in my 30s I'd be sitting there doing deep dives into Kid Rock, but
there you go.
I don't hate it either. So let us know, and we'll give you your thought. But that's, I guess, what I got to say about that. It's Baba Taba is the best way to start an album. And then, honestly, it goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Not that it goes far downhill, but that is the highlight, and then everything else is pretty good. I don't like the country ones. I like most of the nu metal shit. I love the overall brilliance and creativity on the album. I don't think Kid Rock's a good philosopher.
True. I gave this album a 4.39 on 5, so it's an 87.8%, I think. So yeah, I mean, I really like this one, especially, you know, like the first 2 songs. I like the whole album. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go put this one on. I would just, you know, pull out the bangers. I mean, it's fun to listen to. I had, you know, it wasn't like, oh, Kid Rock, ugh. But I imagine some people maybe are. I don't know. But I liked it. It was fun. Thanks.
Fair enough. So thank y'all for watching it. Let us know in the comments what you think. We'll make sure to answer you. Like the video if you did. We could use that help. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. We could use that help. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prada, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, Scribble, the guy who requested this, and Carl J. Welcome. It's dope to have y'all with us. They, at the right tier, can basically tell us what albums to review, such as what this episode is. But for $1 or more, you can support our channel, and that would be real helpful. I make music myself, so the day after this video comes out, as in tomorrow, I guess for you watching this, I have a new song dropping, or it's in the past, whatever. Check it on this channel. It's called Behind That Suit, and it'll be out real soon, and I'm excited to share that with you. Let me know what you think. Links to all that shit in the description, and in the meantime, I would like to say live long and prosper, everybody.
Rock and roll. Bye.
What the fuck?